A very good Friday morning to everyone out there. Landon here with you to bring you your weather or not forecast, courtesy of Ohio Valley Insurance. It's a damp start for us out there. We can see that overlooking the radar this morning. We got a cold front approaching here from the west, and you can see with the ongoing activity across the region. We got the bulk of the first round that's shifting off just to the north and east of the Wobbles community. We have more development off to our south and west. It's going to be arriving here. Folks, we're going to deal with these scattered shower and storm chances pretty much throughout the entirety of today. We can get a look across the region to kick things off for us. Very damp and wet start overlooking the D93 Sky Cam in downtown Bowling Green. I will be making my way down there to speak with the one and only Tony Rose around the 7:30 a.m. hour, breaking down the weekend forecast. Jumping over and looking over the Beechtree News Sky Cam up in Morgantown. That is where they've seen a little bit of a let-up in the rain showers with the initial round moving out of here, but there is more where that came from. That is a promise. Temperatures have stayed up, no surprise there. We're between the mid and upper 60s region-wide. Going to be taking highs to right around the mid, maybe upper 70s this afternoon. Dew points rising as well. We're pretty much going to lock in this tropical-like air mass throughout the entire weekend, providing a foundation for sporadic, widely scattered shower and storm development. Total rainfall amounts overnight and into this morning, we're looking anywhere from upwards of 0.6 of an inch here in Warren County. We got lower amounts surrounding the region, nearly 1/4 of an inch over here in Butler County, just shy of 0.4 over here in Logan County, and we will have more to add to those totals as the day wears on. Getting a look here at the latest surface map, you can see this cold front is trying to make it through here. It's going to be approaching from the west. And as we work throughout the day and then into tonight, that cold front is going to kind of wash out and the lingering boundary is going to remain intact throughout the entire weekend. That's going to result in a continued active pattern for us. And then especially, folks, as we roll into next week, we're looking at a potential multi-day severe weather risk, which we'll be getting into that here in just a moment. Getting a look over the short-term model guidance, we have the initial round of rain and storms working through here this morning. You can see as we work throughout the day, we might catch a subtle break as we go into midday and lunchtime, but this afternoon with the arrival of the cold front, scattered robust cell development. We're not anticipating any sort of severe weather, but you could get in on some gusty winds, maybe even some small hail being produced with any of these storms that are able to fire and get going. Then as we work past sunset with the loss of daytime heating, we're going to see the activity taper down across the entire region, all right? Shifting gears as we work throughout the weekend, take a look at these dew point readings. Mid and upper 60s throughout today on into this evening. And then we're going to progress into our Saturday, folks, and look at this surge of moisture that's going to be arriving here out of the south. Here we are working into lunchtime. We're going to have dew points rivaling right around 70 degrees. It's going to be very warm, very muggy, more typical of a mid to late summer setup than what we're accustomed to. With temperatures hanging out between the low and mid 80s and these dew points, it's just going to feel very muggy and soupy, kind of like a microwave loaf of bread, if you will, in the great outdoors. Now, not everyone's going to see rain throughout this weekend, but both Derby Saturday along with Sunday, we're just going to have the setup of these sporadic storms developing across the region. So that'll be worth keeping note of if you got any outdoor plans. But again, we're still expecting the severe risk to remain mitigated. We're not having any concerns of severe weather throughout this weekend. Now let's shift gears and let's talk about the long-term model guidance because there's quite a bit to discuss. We're going to progress through the weekend, and you can see here, folks, just these sporadic meandering showers and storms. It's not going to be a widespread washout. The activity will remain scattered in nature. Then as we work throughout the early days of next week, we got a very interesting setup. We have this deepening low pressure here across the northern plains. It's going to be jolting and pressing a cold front. It's going to be pinwheeling east across the continental U.S. And we're going to have these storm systems that are going to develop. It would appear to be an MCS, mesoscale convective systems. These things can get going and last upwards of 12 hours or more, covering hundreds of miles of ground as they do so. And you can see here initially, we could see the first round arrive on Tuesday. Here comes the initial round. Then we get into Wednesday. Here comes another one developing over Missouri and jolting eastward. And then we have another one, as you can see right there, on Thursday into Thursday night before our active pattern finally attempts to come to an end by roughly Saturday of next week. So beginning today and lasting through pretty much the next 7 days, folks, we're going to be dealing with a very robust and active pattern. Tuesday into the Thursday time frame with those potential parades of MCSs moving through here will be the possibility of strong and severe storms across the region. Most typically with MCS events, we have a damaging straight line wind event that will be our primary concern. They can also produce tornado spin-ups along the line and some hail. So needless to say, we're still too far out to be able to nail down the exact timing and threats, but the signal has been there over the past several days, all right? Even before we had the machine learning capabilities and our analog guidance was spitting that out, we've been talking about this throughout a good chunk of this week during our morning videos here. So you can take a look, folks. It's a multi-day threat next week. Let me scroll this back upwards because day 6 is where we kick things off. Tuesday of next week, you can see the parameters there signifying a large chunk of the eastern tier of the continental U.S. It's Tuesday into Wednesday, and then we continue on throughout our Wednesday and Thursday, and that appears whenever the threat will become highest. You can see the analog guidance here, obviously, has got a vast majority of the eastern tier of the continental U.S. highlighted for a potential severe weather event. And the same can be said as we work into the Thursday time frame, as you can see right there as well. Total rainfall amounts, folks, we already looked at what we received, all right? What we're looking at right now doesn't include that. So over the course of progressing through Wednesday of next, well, you know what? Let's make it a full week, why don't we? That's more like it. So over the course of the next week, we could be looking at additional multiple rounds of showers and storms over the next 6 to 7 days. An additional 3, maybe even 4+ inches, all right? Avoid Fairview if this comes to fruition. If you know, you know. This could turn into some flooding concerns in addition to a potential severe weather risk. Here's a full breakdown of your next 5-day weather forecast. We got rounds of showers and storms today, highs right around the mid-70s. Sporadic scattered storms, both Saturday and Sunday with a tropical-like air mass locking in. It's going to be very warm and muggy in the outdoors. Low to mid-80s for highs, and then we're going to continue, folks, with the same song and dance on into next week. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, low to mid-80s, sporadic rounds of showers and storms, and the potential parade of MCSs going through here Tuesday to Thursday of next week. Friends, it's going to wrap up your Friday morning Whether or Not Bowling Green weather forecast presented by Ohio Valley Insurance. You all take care of yourselves and each other. Have a dry, safe